Welcome. It's a brand new Webisode. It's early on Sunday morning, and I'm working on the show for Monday as I make the camera shake because I put my hands on the desk. Couple of different things. First off, if you've been on my Facebook page, you will see that my soon-to-be 4-year-old next weekend, Kyle, was bit by the in-laws' dog. I only laugh just because it seems like we've been to that same urgent care now 4 times within as many years, 3 times within as many years. First for my heart attack, twice for Kyle, and then I want to say we took Logan there for some reason. Oh, Logan went with me when I had my heart attack. We went to that urgent care as well. Thankfully, his eye's okay. It was an accident. He was playing with the dog in the backyard, and I wasn't there. The in-laws were watching him while Melinda and I were out shopping. So now I'm just waiting for the swelling to go down on his face, and so he's not so puffed up. I just feel bad. I wish it had been me. It's for those that have kids, you know how difficult it is when your kids go through stuff like that. I hate to see him looking like that and in that kind of pain. So it's been a rather long weekend in that regard. I was sitting here working on Monday's show, and I'm chuckling to myself at the amount of new talk shows that keep popping up here in Tucson. Here's the thing. I'm glad that we have more local talk show hosts popping up at different hours of the day on different radio stations, even though they don't get any ratings. Because the more people are exposed to talk radio, sorry, I got something in my eye. The more people that are exposed to talk radio, the better talk radio does in general. Usually, and I think probably a lot of you would agree with this, I mean, a lot of times people are used to listening, they have their patterns of listening to music, and once they begin to hear good talk radio, the more talk radio they hear, the more you desire to hear that. I mean, I'm that way. I love listening to my music, and there's a time when I want to listen to music, but often I'll find myself driving in just looking for some talk. Not even on 104.1 The Truth, but I just want to hear somebody talking about something that's interesting. But the other part to this is just how bad most of these talk shows are. It seems like anybody that's got an opinion now or has worked in some kind of venue in terms of media now could have a talk show, and I don't think they realize just how difficult it is. Plus, the way that they're putting them on the air doesn't really lend itself to success. I'm going to be on 1 day a week for an hour at this time. I mean, that requires people to go and seek you out as opposed to punching through. But because of budgets and everything else, I get that. It's just we seem to be... I've never worked at a market that had this many local talk show hosts. I was listening to this one real progressive left-leaning one. And it's one of these ones that's I'm on 1 day a week. It's so fascinating to me to hear progressive talk radio, left-leaning talk radio, and just how shallow it is, how vapid it is, how we're going to speak the truth, and we're going to give it to them. But they don't speak any truth. They don't speak any facts. There isn't any valid information. There are no arguments. I would respect a progressive-leaning, left-leaning talk show if it were just honest. If they just said, look, I believe in spreading the wealth around, right? I believe that we shouldn't be dominated by the free market, and that we should have more of a communist, Marxist-leaning society, and that we should grab money from rich people and give it to those who are poor, regardless of how they got into that situation. I believe we should have open borders, and that being here in the country illegally isn't wrong. But I'm even hearing this particular one, which was all about immigration. And, dude, just admit, you don't think that being here in the country illegally is wrong. Because they don't ever craft that argument. They talk about how, if it wasn't for again, it's the same old arguments you always hear. If it wasn't for the illegal alien, then you wouldn't have your tomatoes and you wouldn't have your construction. And it's simply not true. Those businesses that sell tomatoes, those businesses that build homes, sure, some of them may use illegal immigrant labor, but do you think they're suddenly just going to allow themselves to collapse if all the illegal aliens were gone? Well, of course not. They'd find people, Americans, who are illegal, to go and do the work for them. They're just, there goes all my illegal immigrant labor. It's just, it's fascinating to me that they just continue to put these arguments over and over and over again that have no root in truth, no root in facts, and aren't rational. But if you were to come out and say, as a left-leaning progressive talk show host, yeah, I don't think that being here in the country illegally is wrong, and that we should just legalize everybody and we wouldn't have this issue. But see, that's never going to happen, because they, again, know that that would never fly in public, because people generally, regardless of political affiliation, for the most part, like laws, and they like those laws to be adhered to. So, one more thing before I let you go today. I'm going through my latest copy of World Magazine. This made me laugh a little bit. Coconut caution. When the United States president comes visiting, you can never be too cautious. How cautious were officials in Mumbai? They cut down all the coconuts from the coconut trees surrounding the city's Gandhi Museum ahead of Obama's early November visit. Every year, people are injured or killed from being hit by falling coconuts. We told the authorities to try to remove the dry coconuts from the trees near the building, a government spokesman said. Why take a chance? Every year, people are injured or killed or being hit by falling coconuts. Why would you have the coconut trees in public places if people are getting killed from falling coconuts? Yeah, I mean, heck, if I were president, if I were visiting Mumbai, I'd be like, hey, can you get rid of those, please? Or can I have a hard hat? Can I have that? So, all right, there. Brand new webisode. Short week for me. I have Friday off because we're going to Disneyland. James T. Harris will be filling in. But you do get 4 shows, and I promise there'll be shows. I'm not going to give any promise of the quality of them. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.